I'm Susan Glukach, and I am a National Arts Center teaching artist, and this is the final one of my four-part series called Your Lens, My Eyes, Reflections on Truth and Healing. I am Inuk from Akveat, from the Kivalliq region of Nunavut. Akveat is comprised of several Inuit groups, and one of the groups are my mother's people, the Haunaqtong-Mute. This four-part series has been an introduction of the matriarch on my mother's side, Tahilq. Tahilq was my mother's grandmother and the woman who raised her. They were Haunaqtong-Mute. I am therefore Haunaqtong-Mute. The lens through which I viewed Tahilq and that generation, our ancestors, was one framed by comments and conversations I grew up hearing, which forms part of the generational trauma that we Indigenous are talking about today. As I explored and expressed, as I learned for myself and in my way who my ancestors really were, that lens was shattered and I began to see more clearly who I am. And I am who I am because my ancestors were who they were. The pieces that are the most meaningful in this discovery are my great-grandmother's, Amauq's, capacity to love, which we have come to know through my mother's childhood memories and recollections, and her absolute and unwavering knowing that she was loved by Tahilq. These two pieces form what we can now carry with us, which is that love. And in this is generational healing. The intentional peeling back of layers through the arts allows for me to continue to spend time on these discoveries, to live with them, to sit with them, to express them, and to find ways to share them so that Tahilq's story is remembered. But also so that I can see through a new perspective, which allows me to challenge the narrative I grew up with, and then to rewrite it as seen through the eyes of the people who came before us. The shame that negative descriptors instilled is no longer the prevailing narrative or story. The prevailing narrative is one of healing, hope, and strength. This is what Tahilq wished for my mother, and what our mother has passed down to us. No longer uncertainty, but clarity. In the mixed media piece that I have been creating, what I have put together is an image, a piece of Tahilq as I saw her, as my mother shared her stories and memories of her, but in two pieces. So there is Tahilq, traditional, on this side, but she carries with her the burden of and the weight of not knowing what the future of her beloved granddaughter was going to be. And that poem is the poem or the piece that I call Uncertainty. And that piece reads, "Kanoaluglikya." How do I frame this? Una nagligiyaga, I love this woman. Katilaok si mangitlugo, although I've never met her. Tusak si mayakka, unip kausi, tay matum mata, dagvuna, kauyimavaga. I know her through songs, stories, and memories. Dagvuna, kauyimagapku, kauyimavunga, damna, nagligusulauman. Because I have heard these, I know that this woman loved. So why the uncertainty? Where did this come from? Why couldn't I just feel love, feel nourished, and know that I am being a good human being? Now I know that I can. I can because of how my mother talks of Tahilq, the words she uses, the love in her voice. Some of her words are, she loved me, I knew only love. She went with very little so that I had more, and we both had very little. She kept me with her as long as she could. And in these three are very simple statements. Tahilq loved for my mother. Tahilq sacrificed for my mother. And Tahilq found strength to be with my mother as long as she could because she loved her. So, no longer uncertain, but we loved because she had no self-pity. We sacrificed because she felt fear and still lived a whole life. We find strength because she never showed weakness. The other part of this mixed media piece is the other poem, and what I call this piece, and it's a brief one, written originally in Inuktitut, Amauk, which simply means my great-grandmother. I am her great-granddaughter. And this reads, Mamilunga kihia, amaw ma nagling niya huli daimaw ma. Sanangwak punga, titarak punga, amaw ma inusia kauyimayaw kublugo, puigok daw kunago. Unip kau sera titarak para, sanginang may nangyaksunga. Amawa sangiyulaunga. In English, this reads, I heal because my Amauk's love demands it. I create because my Amauk's life designed my path. I rewrite my story because my Amauk's strength carries the power and the strength and truth. And so this piece is the mixed media piece that I have been creating. And what you see here are the three words, love, strength, and sacrifice. In one eye is a small picture of my mother, because my mother was the center of Tahilq's life. This is a slight shading of the other eye because there was uncertainty when she gave my mother away, to whom and what life was my mother going to live. This is the clear image of Tahilq, which is the prevailing image for all of us. And there's the flowers called Lady of the Snow, because many of these women carried that same burden of uncertainty and did their best to raise their children and the next generation as they stepped into the next part of Inuit life. This is Tahilq. This is the 4-part series that I have been grateful for. Thank you, National Arts Center, for this opportunity. I'm going to leave you with a song through which I introduced for the first time my ancestors on both sides of my family, and collected through conversations that feed this 4-part series, but the healing life that is part of the career, that is part of moving forward as Indigenous people. We must have those Indigenous stories and ancestor connections as part of that healing. It's been a privilege. I thank you very much for the opportunity, and I leave you with Walk With Me. Matna.
Hear me, don't listen to defer, believe me, not the stories that you've heard. I want to heal, I want to feel again, when you see me. Do you see me through your eyes or the lenses of the people in disguise? 'Cause they can't see the things I've seen. Some things can't be There's a story